Awesome. Okay, well, it looks like we're live on Facebook, so that's a great way to start. So we'll start with you after. So I'm welcome to Beyond the Cloud, everybody. I am Tanya, founder of Cloud Business Services and Tanya's Bookkeepers Bootcamp. And we don't even have a question today. The question is, are you planning on taking time for yourself this weekend? My answer for the first time in like a year and a bit is yes. Yes. An astounding yes. I'm finally there. I do have to work some this weekend, but I'm going to work when it's raining, and that's it. Otherwise, I'm relaxing this weekend, and I'll be poolside for sure. Okay, Kim, you go next and share that news when you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Kim from Beyond Bookkeeping Business Services here in Southern Ontario. And the news that Tanya is talking about is I just found out yesterday, and you may have seen me posting on Facebook about it during the nomination and voting phase, but my business was nominated for an award in Niagara Region for Best Bookkeeping Firm. And I just found out yesterday that we won the Platinum level award. So they have Platinum, Gold, Silver, Bronze, and we won for Platinum. So I'm super stoked and excited about that. And as for this weekend, I'm also going to be at Tanya's poolside.
Come on up here. Hop on your bike. Come on up.
Don't lose your drink, Carol. I thought that could come out of your nose.
From her place.
Kim can make it. She can hop on the bike and come on up here. She can make it without having to hop on a plane, Carol.
Yeah, so I'm not allowed to leave my region.
I think we're officially, as of tomorrow, I think we're officially allowed to leave regions. Are we not now? We're allowed to get in Ontario, I think we are.
They've blocked it through the long weekend.
Did they? Okay. Yeah, here we're allowed.
Our numbers are severely coming down, but they were way up there compared to what they should have been.
Well, people aren't paying attention. Anyways,
let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
Don't get me started on that.
All right. Okay. Well, that's okay, because if you're allowed 10 people for gatherings outside 6 feet apart, we can have 6 feet apart in the pool. That's perfectly fine by me. So I got a spare bedroom that has lots of laundry on it that we can easily take the laundry off. I haven't put laundry away in over a year.
I'm not fussy.
But the 10 people bubble is supposed to be the same 10 people, right? I've got a neighbor
alone. I'm not worried about her. She lives alone.
Oh, I know, but they have friends and kids that come over, and they might only be 10, but there are different 10 every flipping day.
Oh,
every day.
I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody. So. Okay. So Carol, you're up next.
Oh, I'm Carol Kosterchuk from Carol.
We're going backwards today.
In very sunny Maple Ridge, BC. What was the question?
Are you planning on taking time for yourself this long weekend?
Well, I am actually. Starting Sunday, I'm working. I have a huge project I need to get finished and up to date. But Monday, I am going to be at our Lapidary Club making copper flowers for the garden. So good copper flower that will end up being in my garden. I haven't figured out what copper flower shape I'm doing yet, but I have still 2 days to figure that out.
Very nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Jessica, you're next.
Hi, Jessica Fox from Florida, virtual bookkeeper in Florida, also known as Bandera Fox on Facebook. And this week I have to take some time off. I have to do some work because this week has been crazy and I'm a little behind on some things, but I just need to really recharge and de-stress after the last 2 days that I've had. So hopefully I'll get some sleep, but if not, I'll get some reading and some Lego building for sure.
There you go. That's that, as long as you find a way to get rid of your stress, right?
And I've been doing it already. Earlier I was in a meeting, and because I wasn't on camera, I was just listening to a presentation. I was building Legos. This is my therapy.
You know what? Some people use squeeze balls, some people doodle, some people build Lego. Doesn't matter.
No matter, whatever works.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to a brand new Lego set that's not for sale to the general public yet. But I got VIP pre-order and it should arrive on Sunday. So if it does, that's what I'm doing that day.
Awesome.
Your friend's Lego?
Yes, the friend's apartments.
Oh, Friends are perfect.
Oh,
The Friends
Oh.
sitcom. So
Yeah.
I used to already have the Central Perk Lego set, but now just released is the 2 apartments with the hallway, and it has like different iconic scenes in it. It's it's
Awesome.
gonna be in stores on June 1st, but Lego VIP members could pre-order it as of a few days ago. So
And
I was up at midnight refreshing, and as soon as I could check out, then I went to bed.
oh my gosh, I just have to say real quickly that like sometimes we are such big nerds, aren't we? We had, and I'm going to say this, and if you knew our town of Belleville, it would be even more funny. So we're in a little retirement town, basically. It's a city, 50,000 people, but lots of retirement people. I love Green Day. Green Day rock band came out. Here is Tanya, 45 minutes early at our Best Buy in the parking lot before it comes out so that I can be the first one to buy it. You know what? They'd only ordered 2 in, and that second one was still sitting there like a month later. Like, damn it, I could have sucked in. But sometimes we're just such big nerds with stuff.
Oh,
With the
no.
I
stuff
am
we
nerd
love.
and proud, card carrying. I mean, even in my Facebook little bio, I talk about how I'm a proud geek. It's just
Yep.
part of who I am.
Yep. But that's
And me
awesome for
too.
Friends, and the
Sorry.
timing, of course, because the Friends reunion special is coming on the 27th. Yay.
Yep, I'm sure that they did that on purpose to boost sales.
Oh,
probably.
Shannon. So Shannon's watching, and she just said Green Day used to do a lot of free barn concerts around where she is. Very jealous. It took me, and we'll get to you, Lawrence. I promise we'll get to you. It took me 4, 5 times to actually see them in concert because something came up every single time and I had to back out. And just before American Idiot came out, we lived up in Barrie, so 4 hours, like 4 hours away from here anyway, in North. And they went and they did a small, sorry, I just Lawrence, sorry, you guys can't see. Lawrence just put something in the chat. You got to know Lawrence, love him. Anyway, they went and they did, it's a small arena. We're talking a small town with maybe 1,000 people in it that has a little hockey arena, and I couldn't get anybody to go with me, and so I just didn't want to go by myself. And yeah, and then all of a sudden, American Idiot comes out and they hit big, and so I finally seen them a couple of years ago, and absolutely amazing. Anyway, sorry. And Shannon's never paid to see them. And you know what? I would love to have gone and seen them for free because I think they're absolutely amazing. Oh. Anyway, I love the energy of the concerts. My daughter and I, when we went, we had, I think, 8th row floors behind the mosh pit. And of course, because she was like 13 at the time or 14, we were right at the end of the row. We didn't go center stage because I thought, I don't know what the floors are going to be like. I don't want this poor little kid to end up getting like trampled and stuff. So we were right at the end of the row where we had a little bit extra room. And so I was the responsible mom. Anyway. Oh, Lawrence, you muted yourself, so we couldn't hear what you said. And it's your turn.
Responsible mom.
Sometimes I'm responsible, sometimes I'm not. Depends on how much alcohol I've had. Did I say that? Whoops. Anyway, okay, Lawrence, your turn.
I didn't hear the question of the day. I came late.
Oh, right. Are you taking time for yourself this weekend?
If you consider gardening and digging up weeds, time for myself, yes.
I guess it depends on, do you consider gardening and digging up weeds time for yourself?
No.
How many people can do that one eyebrow thing he did?
I can't.
I can't. When he was thinking, he moved one eyebrow.
But she who must be obeyed
No,
wants me to dig up the garden. And therefore, I know my rank.
Honored.
I know where I rank in this household.
That's so funny.
So therefore,
Oh, Lord.
Cat, Gail, Ruffy, me. So I know where I rank. But I have some good news today.
Okay, share it. Share it.
So you may recall that on September 2nd, my anniversary, some jerk from the city of Vaughan gave me a parking ticket for parking my car on the street for more than 3 hours.
Yes.
Today we had a hearing.
And did you win?
Well, I got it knocked down from $50 to $25.
Okay.
It's a, you know what? It's a win. It's not a
it's a
full-on
semi-win.
win.
They
It's a
said,
win.
sorry, Lawrence, the law is the law. Sorry, there's no signs anywhere you live, but there are signs when you come off the highway and go into Thornhill that says no parking. I don't come off the fucking highway.
There's the
And I
F-bomb.
said, here are the 4 streets I drive into Thornhill with every day. There's no freaking sign. I went for a drive. But the guy said, but I behaved myself. I was very calm, cool, collected, professional. I was wearing my bow tie. And he said, okay, no problem. The law is the law. You got to pay the fine. I'll knock it down from $50 to 25. And you have until the middle of June to write us the check. So a qualified success.
You should turn around. You should have turned around and said, fine. If I pay the 50, will you put a sign up? Put the $25 towards a sign.
Well, I'm hoping the officer who wrote the ticket wasn't there today because she's apparently in the hospital.
Oh no.
Well, I hope it's to deliver a baby, not anything serious. I mean, life threatening that respect.
Right.
You can say, but you know,
You've got.
But if
it is what it is. Apparently, it's the law.
If she was delivering a baby and she gave you she probably celebrated with sex the night she gave you the ticket if she's delivering a baby today.
September,
when did you say
October,
you-
November, December,
But
January,
I
February, March, April,
Oh, May.
May.
went-
Could
she
be.
went home-
Maybe
she
she
went
got
home to
lucky
her
on my
husband, "Hey,
anniversary.
honey, hey, honey, I gave somebody a ticket today. Let's get it on."
but if the officer doesn't show up, I didn't think.
No,
I thought.
it's not a parking offense. It's a municipality.
I think
By
that's
law
removing
offense.
offenses only if they don't show up.
Okay,
Got it.
so a designated representative from the bylaw enforcement office was there with her pictures and her quote. And I said, all right, see that car behind me down the street? They were also parked on the street all
Where's
day.
their ticket?
Did they get a ticket? I don't know. The officer gave me the ticket, isn't here today. I said, well, look it up. They didn't look it up.
They wouldn't be able to tell you anyways.
You know
Oh,
what? It is what it is. I managed to delay paying the $50 by 9 months and got it chopped in half. To me, that's a bargain.
there we go. That's awesome.
But you have to be careful with that. I actually had that happen here in a parking lot. I had gone and met a client in the morning at Tim Hortons, had a little coffee, had a little chat, 9 o'clock, 9:30, left, went to my client's office, worked till, I don't know, 12:30. Thought, oh, I guess I got to stay all day. I'll go eat. So I happened to go back to Tim Hortons, got lunch, came back out, got a parking ticket for being parked in the parking lot for over 3 hours.
So you could fight that by saying,
Oh, I did.
have you got pictures of you chalking my tires and showing that they haven't moved?
Well, it's a private one anyways. And I phoned
Doesn't
them.
matter.
I'm sorry. I did not park there more than that. Oh, well, you could have moved your car. I said, I did because I went to work and I can send you screenshots of the emails that I sent out from my computer and that. And it was like $65. He goes, oh, okay, well, I'll make it 50. I'm like, no, I'm not paying anything. And if you keep pushing it, I'm going to go to every business in that complex that hires you guys as the parking enforcement and tell them what you're doing to their customers. Because if that's the case, I'll never come back to this complex more than once a day, ever again.
Yeah.
So then he was like, okay, well, I'll make it
No.
$30. I'm like, no, I'm not paying
I-
you a penny.
This is not. Let's make a deal.
Yeah,
I knew I was there all day. I knew it was that I couldn't fight that part.
Yeah.
But I just
No, I
said,
get that.
show me a sign in my neighborhood that says I can't do this, and I'll pay
Right.
the ticket tomorrow. Well, there's 62 signs all over Vaughan. You know how big Vaughan
Vaughn's
is?
pretty damn big.
I says, yeah, but there are none on any of the 4 streets I used to enter Vaughan, and I listed them. I says, you know what? You better, I told the hearing officer, I says, I strongly suggest that you speak to that officer who gave testimony and tell them to take some money out of their pocket, buy a frickin' sign and put it in Thornhill. and not just the one on the 407 where you get off. Anyways, sorry.
So that's okay.
It was a partial victory.
Shannon just typed in and she just says, make it $0 and pay me $2.75 an hour. We're even. Love it.
Whatever.
Anyway, all right, Amy, you're up. You're back and you're up. And you're muted.
What is the, well, good, that was for part of it, but what was the question?
Are you taking any time for yourself this weekend?
Oh, heck yes. Sorry. I am Amy Lewis of Lewis Bookkeeping in Orillia, Ontario. It is gorgeous and sunny, and it's supposed to be a nice weekend this weekend here. My husband and I are building a garage in our backyard. It started yesterday, so I'll be working on that. But I also bought an inflatable paddleboard for myself this year. Ooh. And I intend to take it out on the water this weekend. So that will be what I'm doing for myself this weekend.
Awesome.
But I'll also be working, so that's cool. I'm get it all in. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, for those in the US, it's also a long weekend up here for us. You guys have Memorial Day next weekend. We have Victoria Day, or as Canadians proudly call it, May 2-4. And it's, some people think it's because it tends to fall around the 24th, and that's not why. It's because when you're young, you tend to go out and buy a couple of 2-4s of beer.
Yeah, that's actually what I remember from high school. Like, you know, it's because yes, it falls around the 24th, and actually this year is like the first time in I don't even know how long, but
it's actually on the 24th.
It is on the 24th.
Right, and this is the latest that the weekend can be. It's always the Monday prior to May 24th, Victoria's birthday.
I'm a little bit old. I'm a little bit older, Amy, and I do remember when it was called Victoria Day and not the May 2-4 weekend.
Well, it's still called Victoria Day. It's just, you know, we made it like we call it the 2-4 because we buy a bunch of 2-4.
I know, but the 2-4 weekend is something relatively recent.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was,
I said relatively.
I just say when I was a teenager too, and I'm 49, and when I was a teenager, and when I was 17, 18, and 19, it was because we went and bought 2-4s of beer and went partying.
By the way, for our American viewers, a 2-4 of beer is a case of 24 bottles.
Yes, exactly. It's just like we say a lot. 24
I don't
is not
have
24s
in the States.
No.
Oh, you like a flat, like do you have flats or any kinds of?
They have cases
or?
I am not a beer buyer. I should know this better because my husband is, and he's constantly buying it, but I don't pay very much attention. I don't think you can get a case of 24 bottles, but you can get 24 cans.
Okay.
And there's all sorts of different configurations, but usually he likes to, it depends on what sales are going on, what exotic new type comes out. Sometimes he goes and does this mix and match where you get a little six pack and you can mix different bottles of different brands.
Mix and match in the States.
So I don't really, all I know is that he usually drinks something different every weekend, but I'm not there when he's buying it.
They do that in BC as well, and I'm sure, but yeah, I love that. And 6-packs are more my style. I wouldn't really get a 2-4 because that's kick my ass.
I
don't even drink beer anymore. I
got a bottle of hard cider in the fridge, cooling off for the weekend.
I'm coolers now.
I don't drink beer either.
No, I haven't drank beer in a long, long time. But when you're young and you're starting to drink, it's the cheapest thing, especially when. In the late 90s, I guess, when I was going to or late 80s, when I was going to the bars. So Kim, you'll probably remember this. Amy, you were too young at that point, but Kim, you might remember this, where all the bars, it was bucket beer.
So yeah, no.
It was bucket beer going around. It was the beer wars, bucket beer. I'm sorry, you can't go wrong with a bucket beer.
I was actually one of the lucky teenagers that looked older than I was.
Me too.
And so I never used to get carded. It could be because I got kicked out when I was 14, so I had to grow up fast. So I think my mentality was a lot more mature and stuff than other 14-year-olds. But my nickname as a teenager was Splitsy because they had a wine cooler that they sold in a 2-liter bottle. It was called Splits, was the name of it. And it was $4.99. And I used to buy a 2-liter bottle of Splits every time I went to a party or whatever. And that's what I would drink and get drunk on. And so people started calling me Splitsy. So
Were you
like,
the booze runner to your parties because you looked
Yeah.
older?
yeah. Not so much parties, but getting into bars and stuff. I never got carded or when I was going to buy stuff.
You know, I had to return some wine today to the LCBO, and they carded me when I returned it. I don't know why. Apparently, they do that whenever you return booze. I don't know why.
No,
Make sure you're old enough to return it.
I
But
got carded.
I pull out the driver's license and I show it to her, and I says, "How can you tell it's me? I'm wearing a mask." But I'm not wearing a mask on my driver's license.
Oh gosh. No,
The other thing is, the last time I got my photo taken, and I'm looking at the driver's license, why did they send me a picture of my dad? He's been dead for 10 years.
oh gosh.
It's okay. I have a really good picture of me on my Costco card. My Costco card won't work at the gas station anymore. So every time I get gas at Costco, there's always somebody behind me that wants to beat the crap out of me because I got to hit the button for the attendant to come over and fix it. And he goes, "Why don't you just get a new card?" I said, "Would you get a new card? This is a hot picture of me."
I know. My first driver's license picture was amazing. They've all been horrible since then. I was so upset when they made me replace. I'm like, but I had a perfect hair day, a perfect makeup day, a perfect lighting day. But no, I got carded twice. Once because my mother actually told them to card me on my 19th birthday, and I'm like, "Mom, she's been serving me here for 3 years. Please don't do this." And then the other time I got carded was for cigarettes because I was a very chesty teenager. When I was, 13, I could pass for 19. And so, but I went in for cigarettes, and of course I had decided to quit. And then I'm like, I can't deal with this. I'm not quitting. Ran over, and I just literally grabbed the money. I didn't take my whole purse, ran across the parking lot on my break to buy cigarettes. And this little kid, like call him a little kid. Obviously he was a little bit of a kid, but I was probably 21, I think, and his voice is still cracking, and he's carding me for cigarettes. And all I'm doing is I don't have enough time to go back and get that. So I just stuck my chest out. I pointed down. I said, "Does this look like the chest of somebody who's too young to smoke?" He went beet red. I got my cigarettes.
And 30 years later, this kid is in group rehab because he's been traumatized by a busty customer when he was 14.
I we used to love going to the
sexually
Target. No, we used to go to before Trump. We'd go to the state shopping in Bellingham, and we'd go into Target, and they always have really good deals on bras and panties. So we'd buy these lacy, and then we'd make sure we went through the checkout of the youngest guy. Because you'd have to go ding, ding.
Yeah, they're afraid to touch them.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. And then there'd be my girlfriend, Leah, rooting for her change. You know where she keeps it? And then the guy's not going to want those bills in change. Goes, "Oh yeah, it's cash. It's got to take it."
Women.
In
So
Florida,
cool.
in Florida, there are actual businesses that put signs saying we do not accept chest or sock money because it's hot, it's sweaty. Nobody wants to be touching that.
Oh, I guess. I
Wow.
wouldn't want to either. Oh gosh. Okay. So
Women. You are so
Amy
cruel.
had her hand up before.
Oh, sorry, Amy, jump in.
That's totally okay. So another thing I'm doing this weekend is I'm enjoying my new hot tub.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Amy didn't have her hand up. I'm jealous. We're gonna take it back.
Oh,
Too hot for a hot
to your
tub.
house.
Sorry?
I said, it's too hot for the hot tub. Invite us in October.
Well, yeah, well, you can come anytime you want. I have dogs, so let me know before you come.
Oh,
So you put the dogs out?
No, the dogs will go into the house and people can come to the side. Yeah, and it's big enough, if you sit in one corner and I sit in the other, it's 6 feet, so we're still social distancing.
oh. Okay. So Shane, I'm not gonna say this out loud. I'm going to put it in the comments, and I'm just going to say, Shannon, you need to join us on here one of these times. I know her and I, we met in real life the last San Jose that we were at before COVID hit. I think that's our first time that we met. But anyway, you guys can either look at what she's, if you want to see an embarrassed cashier, she put a few things to purchase. I put it in our chat. You can look at it in Facebook chat, laugh yourselves away. You don't want to see, you offend too easily, don't look. Oh gosh. Anyway, no.
Florence,
Kim,
how do you spend
no.
your Friday afternoon?
What?
You don't
Later.
want to know.
Yeah. We'll talk after this. Yes. Sorry, Lawrence. What was that?
My wife, how do you spend your Friday afternoons? Me, you just don't want to know.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Is anybody else curious if wife is the same as the person who shall not be named?
Yes.
When he said before that the person.
No,
who
I didn't
shall
say
not
that.
be
I said
named
she who must be obeyed.
Oh, she who must be
Yes.
obeyed. Sorry.
SW, she who must. What SWMBO.
Better write that down as you're going along there, Lauren.
Yeah, I know. It's what Rumpole of the Bailey called his wife.
Oh,
Has anybody watched Professor Marsden and the Wonder Woman?
No, I have not seen it. I've read about Professor. I've read about it. I mean, I know his history.
Yeah, it's based on the true story. I watched it last night. It was a really good movie. Really good.
He's
I
the
haven't
guy,
even heard of it.
the creator of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the original
was a
creator of Wonder Woman.
I have to go look it up then.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I have to look at that thing. Cool. Okay, so we actually
Back
did
when I
have
was
a
a
real
comic book
topic that we were talking about that I'm like, let's pause that to go on talk
Oh, yeah.
on thing for. So yeah, just subcontractors versus employees and pros and cons. So Kim, you kind of brought it up, and I'm just gonna get up and walk around for a minute. I've got my hip is a little bit out, so I'll still be here, but you guys I'll just be off camera for a sec.
Yeah, so Galit had actually brought it up, and I had joined the last meeting a little bit late and sort of came right into that spot. So I don't know what was said before, but when I jumped in, I was saying that I used to be on an employee model, and then some circumstances in my personal life and my senior level bookkeeper left to go back to school. So just the timing sort of coordinated that I switched from an employee model to a subcontractor model. Not so happy with the quality of the subcontractor model. The price is great, but I'm thinking about switching back to an employee model, and just really wanted to know what I'm normally a really decisive person. So like I can usually make decisions quite easily, and I just can't seem to decide this. I don't know when it's time to decide that enough is enough. I've invested enough time and training into this person. It's not going where I need it to go. I need to cut my losses and start over with somebody new. And I'm just struggling with making that decision.
Well, so
I think you just made it.
Kim.
Yeah, I mean, everything I've been hearing, it sounds like it's time. I know for me, I give the benefit of the doubt. You made a mistake. I show you how to correct it. I expect it to never happen again. So if it's the same errors over and over, I would definitely see it as a time to move. Now, whether you want to do another contract or another employee, that's up to you, but you're paying money for quality. We understand that mistakes happen, but one of the expectations is attention to detail. Now, if it were to be, they made an error last month, this month they did it right, but it's a different mistake because it's something new, then I'll take it on a case-by-case basis. But it's the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
Then they're obviously not coachable, and that's not what you need, because it's more work for you to be reviewing and correcting, plus the stress that causes. Why are you going to pay for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
exactly,
not,
Shannon said the exact same thing.
It's not in your particular case, if I'm correct, it's not so much the difference between an employee and a contractor, it's the quality of work that you're getting. you may have got the same quality of work from this person if they were on payroll as opposed to being a contractor.
Yeah, I just feel the employee aspect, I have that slight edge of control over the work that they do.
You do.
And there's sometimes a little more buy-in, and I get that, because when you're looking at from a contractor, like, you know, based on the last conversation that we had in our boot camp group, you know, it's, you also have to think, as a contractor or subcontractor, they have their own business. They're putting their own clients first. And maybe their clients are paying them more. So maybe, you know, you're just getting what's left over and they're not really paying attention. They're trying to fly through it quicker, whatever. Whereas an employee, you have sometimes more buy-in. And you're right, it depends on the person, a lot on the person, because I've got Sandra and Leanne, they're lifers here. They're amazing. Like, you know, they have so much buy-in to the company. We would not be in the state that we are without them. And they know that, and which is why we're opening up. It was going to be as soon as COVID hit, pretty much. But when COVID is done and everything settled in, I'm going to do profit sharing because they deserve it, because that's what they've done. We've also had two employers or employees that absolutely know they, regardless of what they had done, their attitude was just really poor because they weren't focused. They had no buy-in. They weren't like focused as a part of the company.
No loyalty.
No loyalty.
Well, it's funny. I think that sometimes depends on the personality of the person. When I first started working for myself, doing something, not doing this work, I was doing other work. I did a lot of work as a subcontractor, but I had a responsibility to the person who hired me to do a good job because I was representing them.
Yeah.
Yes.
As well as me.
Yeah.
And okay, I stopped working for one of them because he wasn't paying me. And then the client called and said, "Why aren't you coming in anymore?" And I said, "I can't tell you that." And he said, "Oh, he's not paying you, is he?" I says, "I can't tell you that." He says, "I'll pay you direct." And I said, "I can't do that either."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some of that just may be the person that you've hired, but they may have been a lousy employee as well as being a lousy contractor.
You're right. And that's it. It is. I do agree. It depends on the person, because you're right. The same person might be ethically no matter what. Like you, Lawrence, I represent me and the person. I need to do a good job regardless if I'm an employee or a sub. That's just all, you know, or whatever I need. That's just me, right? But there are some people that might feel differently if they're an employee versus a sub, because their loyalties are split. And some people might feel exactly the same. I mean, it's,
Yes,
yeah.
I agree with
And
you,
also
Tanya. And I think it's not just loyalty, because I've done subcontracting work for people that I have zero loyalty to, but because of my work ethic,
Right.
I cannot in good conscience do shoddy work that I am paid for.
Yeah.
Like I just cannot sleep at night. It's not my personality. So it goes back to the personality time, whether or not there is loyalty or not, is about, do they take pride in their work? Do they have the attention to detail needed for our industry? Because a lot of people choose to do bookkeeping work because it's easy and, you know, they think anybody can do it, but it requires a special type to pay attention, make sure that mistakes are not repeated. We're human. Occasional mistakes happen, but the same stuff over and over, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's a work ethic thing and a professionalism thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess it just, you know, comes down to what Lawrence and Shannon said. Both of them said the same thing: hire slow, fire fast. That to make sure. I mean, I don't think there's 100% guarantee that you're ever going to like really perfectly pick the right person, but there are certain steps that you can take, and again, go slower and do tests and, you know, talk to the person a little bit more and to try to minimize the risk anyway.
And
The
Kim, I
the
know
other
that you,
difference,
I'm sorry.
by the way, I think one of the other differences is when you have an employee, you're now in a sort of a parental mode. Doesn't the 20 on the, you know, on the 15th and the 25th, no matter what, you got to pay that person.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And if business is slow, you still have to pay that person.
Yep.
Yep.
Because you're
And
now
that's
a
the thing-
rainmaker. With a
that's the
contractor,
thing-
to a certain extent, you still have to pay them on time. But if business slows down, hey guy, business slowed down. So
And
that's something to consider within which model you want to go with in terms of that respect. I mean, yeah, do you want to be a schmuck, or do you want to be a nice boss?
It's part of the reason why I've stuck with the contractor as long as I have, because even though the quality isn't what I want, and I've done training about various things about what I do want, he adjusts his rates based on quality. So when there's stuff that needs to be redone, or when there was errors that I had to spend time fixing or whatever, he discounts his rates to me. I have zero problems with what he's charging me for the work that's being done. It's just I would rather pay more and not have to worry about getting discounts.
Well, that's just it.
You know, the same way we market ourselves to people that says, let us take the stress off your shoulders and we'll do the bookkeeping.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get, I'm going to tell you, this guy is stressing you out.
He is.
Get rid of him.
Yes.
In my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So Jonathan, I guess he was working on stuff for next week for us for the accountant bookkeeper connection series, but he's got some things he says inconsistent mistakes drive him crazy. And he's had a lot of trouble with people representing themselves during the process, which is true, you know, and then when you start working together, you realize that they haven't done what they claim they've done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that'll happen a lot. I was discussing with somebody else yesterday. It was maybe on one of the Clubhouse calls. It was on one of the Clubhouse calls with different things. I said, I don't ask the traditional questions that anybody else would ask. I don't ask like what, again, in any type of interview, I don't check referrals. Because how do I know those referrals aren't accurate? I've given a fake.
I get anybody to call. Yeah.
I gave a fake referral for somebody before. I changed my voicemail on my cell phone, like obviously years and years and years ago when I was young and stupid, but I changed it to, you know, say that I was with the position of the person that they said I was on a company that never existed, you know, for a friend. And I gave that. So I don't check references at all. I go by, and, you know, again, by my gut. And I again have a very slow process that I go through to try to get to know the people. I ask very outside of the box and traditional questions that they could not be prepared for. And if I'm going in and trying to do some testing, I've got like a dummy file and going, okay, what do you see here? So like I do have a subcontractor now, Tammy Lee, and I actually purposely made some mistakes on a balance sheet and a P&L. And I just said, okay, here you go. Just scroll down, talk me through this, because she's helping me with my year ends. So I said, okay, talk me through this. What do you see? What jumps out at you? And she hit everything, you know, and I had things that were supposed to be like positives, like in the debit amounts were like a negative debit amount. And you know, like I had some things in there, and then I had some other, like some things that were really obvious and some things that were maybe not so obvious. And then I pulled the comparative. And again, I had her go through, and she picked up on everything. So
yeah, adding on to that, that's what I was gonna say, Kim, because I know that you're a pure bookkeeping licensee. I use the pure bookkeeping skills test on my contractors. Yeah. Is the very first project that I give them is the test. Yeah. And if they don't do good, I don't give them real clients.
Yeah, that's the one I used to use too when I had the employees. I haven't used it with the subcontractors, but that's the one I used with the employees.
Yeah, you can use it on the contractors too. Normally they wouldn't want to take it without being paid. So I just say, this is your first assignment. And if they don't do well, I'll pay them for the time that they spent on it, but I know not to give them additional work. And I also take it with a grain of salt because, you know, with that test, did they ask questions? What type of error is it? Is it something that's easily coachable, or is it like they really don't know what they're doing? So you can use your discretion, but at least I know what I am going into, because before that, yeah, it was a little bit of a gamble when I had a subcontractor on what I was getting. Yeah, now I feel comfortable handing on files.
Yeah, because I do find the marking of the test is very rigid and strict. I'm a bit more flexible in my marking. It depends on what the mistake was.
Yes, I am the same way.
As opposed to just assigning points for correct or incorrect, right?
Yeah, and I look at what was the error. Like they completely mess up the reconciliation. Did they post things in the wrong place? Did they make a mess on the balance sheet? Or is it just that, oh, they forgot one little detail here? Also, that test is really comprehensive. So, you know, if the mistake was sales tax or payroll and something that normally they don't need to do, I let it pass.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. So I think consensus is at the end of the day, it depends on the person. So
Mhm.
I don't know if
we
that
were
was very
talking about
helpful or
that
not for you,
earlier
Kim. But
about, you know, are they teachable? Right? Are they coachable? Are they teachable?
Yeah.
When I was hiring bookkeepers, when I was working for one couple of times larger corporations and had people working with me, I found it easier to hire somebody that had a zero experience and train them my way than to have somebody that had 5 or 10 years and they were set in their ways and wouldn't change.
yeah. Well, see, it depends on what you're looking for, because you're right, Leanne and Sandra, I wanted them done my way because we work different than a traditional bookkeeping firm.
Yeah.
Somebody wouldn't from a traditional firm would not have fit well into here because whoever's free answers the phone. You know, we don't have this is your client, this is your client, this is your client. They're our clients. They keep us in
Yeah.
business. We all try to help them. It's like calling into, you know, a call center type of thing, except for much more personal, that anybody should be able to help you for the most part. But now when I brought on Tammy Lee, I was specifically looking for somebody to help me with the back ends for year ends, like, you know, the year end stuff, which is, you know, get everything ready for when it goes to the accountant, which is, you know, very, very different. I can't really coach on that. That has to be with experience. So I need somebody with a ton of experience, but she doesn't deal with the clients. So I don't have to worry about her fitting into our flows. That's not what her role is. Her role is to help with the year ends, maybe help with some catch up, some cleanups, anything like that. We just, you know, do it basically a job at a time. Otherwise, it was primarily for the year ends.
Yeah.
Just to be able to, but she's a me. So if we can get her other things and say, hey, I need you to come in and do this, which is where she's great because she's got 30 years, 30 some odd years bookkeeping experience and 4 to 5 years of education towards her CGA before she dropped into the CGA. And I'm like, this is perfect to fill that for, again, the experience is lacking on the other side. So again, if I need to take a step back, she can come in and fill in some of those roles, the back end roles, while the girls fill in all the front end, right? Sandra and Leanne. So it's, but again, it really depends on what you're looking at. So John,
My problem when I had a subcontractor was very similar, is that I had someone who'd been working on her own for many years as a bookkeeper, and she had her workflows and her methods of doing things. And I said, look, this is how I want it done when you do my clients, so that if I walk in here and look at the books, I know what the hell is going on and I can see what's happened. I don't want it done your way.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult because after a little while, I came in and I looked at the books and saw she was doing it her way.
Yeah.
So out she went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I ended up having to redo some of the stuff, because if the client had a question, I'm sitting there looking at the books going, the fuck, I don't know.
That's twice in Lawrence's
I know. Lawrence, right before you joined the meeting, before we went live.
Holy, and live.
Right before we went live, Tanya said, does anybody have any F-bombs they want to get out before we go live? And I said, why can't we do it after you go live? And she's like, well, if you want to, sure. And now you've done it twice.
Then comes along Lawrence, Mr.
That's
No
my
messing with him.
nerd-tastic. That's my nerdy leader with a hooker heart of gold personality. I drop the occasional F-bomb.
You know what? We wouldn't love you any
We
other way.
still love
There
you,
go.
Lawrence.
That's me, the nerdy hooker.
Oh, and then just have a couple, sorry, Jonathan's been putting in here too. So he says he does sometimes check referrals because sometimes you can smell the lies. He says attitude is everything. Coachable and teachable are fantastic. And he's had to part ways with some excellent people who just wouldn't do things in the manner that he wanted to for his firm to operate, which is huge. It's huge, right? And then Jonathan says, yep, he's really happy that I was able to get Tammy Lee. And his biggest unachieved goal from 2020 was the ability to fire himself if need be. And that's something he's hoping for this year. But it's important. But again, for that part, I didn't need her to know my processes. She doesn't need to go in there. She just needs to be comfortable with the team. So that's why she comes on her boot camp calls and stuff like that, to kind of get comfortable with everybody and stuff. But you know, I do now feel comfortable with her that she could easily step in and follow instructions if I did need for her to step in, and she chose to do so, because the way we did our contract is we would do it on a project by project basis. Like there's year ends, and anything outside of like for that, she can, you know, we can renegotiate fees depending on the scope of it. She can say no. Like we really built it for that, to have respect on both sides for
Yeah.
that, because you know, hey, if our relationship grows, there might be other things that I want her to do, and I don't want her to feel that she has to, because that's not right. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but anyway, that's important. So,
That's good.
yeah. All right. Well, it is past 4:30, and I have
Yeah.
hubby here that I need to speak to him about something, and then I will give you a call right after, Kim. Will you answer your phone if I call, or is it still forwarded? You want me just to text you and you can call me?
It depends. Are you calling my business line? If
You know what?
my cell
Message
phone-
me.
call my cell phone, I'll answer. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure which one I have,
Okay.
but I know you have my cell phone.
Yeah.
And in case people are wondering, yes, it's just because I get forwarded into a loop, or type it. We're not into a loop, but
I
she's not
screen
here.
my calls. I screen
Yeah.
my work calls. Yeah.
So you know what?
Everybody.
Just text me the number. Give me about 5 minutes, and I'll give you a call.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. And everybody else, it was
good
wonderful.
weekend.
Have a great weekend,
Join.
everybody.
Have a wonderful
Bye.
weekend.
See
Hope
y'all
it's sunny
next week.
everywhere. Bye, everyone.
Kimmy.
Take care. Bye.